In this piano lesson or tutorial, I want to focus on a specific progression that I've heard a lot in many Christian or Spanish Christian worship music, right? Not so much in English, but you can find it in some songs and also hear it a lot in jazz, right? So it's basically the progression that goes around the circle of fourths. But let's start off with the circle of fourths, but keeping all the chords diatonic. So we're going up by 4, but within the scale. So let's say we are in the A minor scale. And the A minor scale is basically the same as the C major scale, right? C major is the relative major of A minor. So all the numbers that I'll be using are in terms of C major. But technically we're in A minor, and we start off on the 2, which is D minor. And if we go up a fourth, right, let's start down here. We go from D minor to G major, then up a fourth to to C, then up a fourth to F. Then when we go up a fourth from here, you notice that it's not up a fourth in the cycle of fourths, right? We're going up a fourth diatonically, so it becomes a B diminished. And then up a fourth from the B diminished, it would be E minor. And then we're back on A, right? But that progression doesn't sound particularly I guess recognizable, right? It's not something you've heard a lot because there's a change that occurs, right? So if I were to play it, the E minor doesn't sound sort of strong, right? That movement from E minor to A minor doesn't give the same release as if it were a E major, right? And that's because the E major has this A flat, which actually comes from the A harmonic minor scale, right? That A flat wants to resolve or basically move up to the A, right? So same thing for that B. B wants to move up to the C, and A flat wants to move up to the A. So that's why when we play it with the E major, it sounds slightly better or more something that we're more used to, right? So D minor, G, C, F, B diminished, and then this E resolves to the A minor in a more natural way, right? But there's also some other changes that we can do to this same progression, right? And one of the chords that we're going to substitute is known as the Neapolitan chord, right? And instead of playing the B diminished, we're going to play the Neapolitan chord. And this Neapolitan chord is basically a tritone away from the E major that we just changed, right? So we're going to play B flat major as a substitute for this B diminished. And something that you're going to notice is that this B flat major is actually part of the circle of fourths, right? Remember when we went from F to B diminished, right? That interval right there is not a fourth. That's actually a tritone. But in this case, this interval right here is a perfect fourth. So we're going to start off on D minor, then G, then C, then F. Then we're going to play B flat and then resolve to this E, and then A minor. And you can sort of feel that tension, right? Tension that releases when we play that E, and then that tension on E releases on A minor, okay? So that's another substitution we can include for this progression. Now let's add some extensions to the chords that we're playing in the progression, right? So instead of playing a D minor, let's play it in this way, right? We're going to play a D minor 7, and you can sort of slow down the video or pay attention to the exact voicings that I'm using if you want to learn them this way, right? So I'm sort of playing the progression using 2 fingers in my left hand and 2 fingers on my right hand, right? So we play this chord, then we play this chord, right? So D minor 7 to a G7, right? We're adding the 7th as an extension to all the chords. Then a C major 7. Then we play an F major 7. And now let's actually go back to the original chord just to have the correct, I guess, extensions for the chords, right? We would play a B half diminished, right? We added the 7th right here. And then we changed that E minor into an E major. So we would actually make it an E7, right? This chord right here, instead of being an E major 7, which is something you would probably think, it's actually a dominant chord, which leads us to the A minor 7, okay? So that would be the progression. And now remember, we changed the B half diminished or the B diminished for a B flat. So let's include that. And something important here, this B flat is not a dominant one, right? We're actually just going to leave it as a B flat. This B flat major 7 can also work as a substitution. So let's try both. Okay, that's one version. Now the one with a B flat major 7. Okay, now there's another chord that we can add to this same progression, and it's more of a passing chord that leads us to the F, right? And it sounds something like this. Right, so this chord right here is an F sharp 7, and it's actually just a tritone substitution for the previous chord, which was a C. Right, so we played D, G, C, then F sharp 7, and we're basically just, instead of playing a C7, we're changing the C for an F sharp, which is a tritone away. We use it as a passing chord that leads us to the F major 7, and then we continue from there. Okay, and there's actually one more thing we can do, right? Instead of substituting the B diminished for the B flat, we can actually just delay the B diminished. So we would play the B flat and then play the B diminished, which would lead us to the E7 and then to the 6. So let's see how that sounds. Right, and then we continue from there. Right, I'm just adding extra extensions. Alright, so hopefully you are able to learn something from this lesson, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and hopefully I get to see you guys in the next video.